Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm just your average, everyday, atypical Canadian nerd here to react to your average, everyday American man here to react to and learn about Canadian Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a North American tradition that has to do with mostly a harvest festival, not unlike Oktoberfest in Germany. It's a different method of having a harvest festival during autumn. Americans believe that their Thanksgiving is the Thanksgiving. Canadians have a Thanksgiving earlier in the year, and it doesn't have the same football or American football, if you'd rather, traditions to go along with it. Instead, it has its own set of traditions and its own way of being done, but it is not very dissimilar from the American Thanksgiving. And I suppose today I am going to add some context, answer some questions that this man will ask while he is learning about Canadian Thanksgiving. Make sure you pay attention later in the video as we do our French word of the day. So far, I don't know what it'll be, but I'll figure it out by the time we get there. And as always, like the video if you like it. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section, especially if you like what I'm doing. Or if you don't like what I'm doing, but you like me and you'd like me to be doing something a little different, there's only one way for me to know, and that's for you to tell me. So go ahead and do it. And without further ado, let's get this picture out of the way, and we'll get this video underway.
What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Thanksgiving in Canada compared to Thanksgiving in America. I had no clue.
Of course.
Well, for one, Thanksgiving was a thing in Canada. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but I never assume these things. I don't assume anything anymore about Canada.
You know, that's a good idea to not assume anything about anything ever, because there is so much in this world we cannot predict, and control is an illusion, much like the fabric of reality around us, which, as many scientific and religious discoveries tell us, is just a holographic illusion weaved together by all of our collective consciousnesses.
There's some crazy stuff going on there. No. Anyway, I was randomly watching a TikTok. I'll admit it. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was watching a TikTok.
I stay away from TikTok because it is Chinese Communist Party propaganda, and it is poison on society and to people's brains. Sure, you might enjoy it, but you have to admit, it is not good for your mental state. Also, it's Chinese spyware, so that the Chinese Communist Party knows everything that your phone knows, including and not limited to your location, your credit information, your usernames and passwords. Yup.
And the guy was making some kind of milkshake or something, and at the end, he said, "Happy Thanksgiving" to Canada. And I was staring at this, listening to this, thinking, what? How did I not know this? How was I not aware of this? It actually makes a bit of sense. I'm not aware of many things, but
The more that I learn, the more I learn that I know nothing.
the day that this video is published, it is October 4th, I believe.
Today is September 25th.
And lo and behold, I learn just the other day that Canada just had Thanksgiving. It was October 10th.
That's right. It's coming up soon.
And I missed it. I would've, if you had told me, if you had just told me, reached out to me, Canada, and told me, I would have reacted to this sooner. But
Oh, I don't think that he reads all of his comments. What can I say? We try.
you know, better late than never. And anyway, I'm glad I found out at all. So I'm ready to see 7 ways Canadian Thanksgiving is different than American Thanksgiving. Believe me, in my surprise, learning that the Thanksgivings were on different dates, and that there were other differences between Canadian Thanksgiving and American Thanksgiving. It's all blowing my mind, but it's all fantastic. I love to have my mind blown, and I'm prepared right now to learn
Yes, I hope this doesn't blow my mind. I can only be blown so many times a day, and I need a recovery time in between.
the differences in Thanksgiving. So let's check it out.
Ah, yes, autumn. The leaves turn colorful shades of oranges and reds, and you can break out your comfy sweaters, go apple picking, or jump in a pile of leaves.
Oh, apples. So it's not quite autumn yet here in Canada. Well, it's the transitionary period between summer and fall. But the apples are ready. My apple tree has produced hundreds of apples so far. I have worked my way through about 400 estimated, and I'm about to do another 30 to 40 of them after I do this. Basically, I'm just cutting off all the bad parts and all the inedible parts, and then stewing apples in a little bit of lemon juice, which, if you have a pressure cooker, is just the simmer setting for about 10 minutes. Just squirt the lemon juice all over the apples, put on the lid, press the simmer button, walk away, come back later. You can put it in a can, you can put it in the freezer, and if you freeze it, it can last a year.
For many Americans, the season culminates in Thanksgiving, when families get together and gorge on turkey and pie, watch football, and go to parades complete with giant floats of well-known cartoon characters.
Now, the parades we enjoy here in Canada, we watch the American parades, and in our mind, because it's later in the season, we're like, oh, that's a Christmas parade. But I guess it's their Thanksgiving parade.
Yeah, I'm glad the narrator actually started it out with this, because I didn't mention America and Thanksgiving at all. Americans freaking love Thanksgiving. We love it.
We observe it. That's about it.
We're very passionate about it. It makes us a little intense, even. No.
Wow.
But mostly for the food. Turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing. You eat till you're sick, till you can't eat anymore, and then you eat a little more on top of that.
That's the Harvest Festival, right? Because it's an overabundance of food, as you can tell from my hundreds of apples off of one tree. And, well, you gotta do something with all that food, and you can only prepare so much of it before it goes bad, so you just gotta eat it. Just eat it.
Until you're disgusted with yourself. And then you eat a little more, because it's Thanksgiving in America. It also has just a whole, vibe and sense along with it, a feeling of Thanksgiving, and Americans love it. It's in November. Don't ask me what day. I never know. That just shows you how much I know. But when it comes, someone tells me, and I show up. So that's my that's my responsibility anyway.
For myself, as with most holidays, I notice it after it's passed me by because I don't know what day it is most of the time. I mean, like, I might know that Christmas is on December 25th, right? But I might not know when December comes to the 20th, let alone the 24th, let alone the 25th. I have noticed that it's the new year 4 days after New Year's Eve, because I just don't have a good sense of when now is, because time is a construct of the illusion and nothing is real.
Anyway, there's a little brief little look into American Thanksgiving.
But did you know that Canada also celebrates Thanksgiving?
No, I didn't know that.
Let's take a look at the
It's true.
ways Canadian Thanksgiving differs from its neighbor to the south. Before we
Yes.
start, don't forget to hit that Number 7, the dates. The first and most obvious difference is that Canadians and Americans celebrate Thanksgiving on different days. In the U.S.,
Yes, they do.
I believe that has to do with the climate because it gets colder sooner here in Canada, which means the harvest happens sooner. Is this making sense?
Thanksgiving always comes on the fourth Thursday in November.
Okay, I'm not supposed to be reacting to the American part of this, but Fourth Thursday in November. Got it.
And that's why we see it as a Christmas parade, because we've already passed by Thanksgiving, Halloween, Remembrance Day, which is where we honor the fallen from wars across time. And then we have a few more weeks of November, and then there's a parade, and we're like, oh, it's Christmas time, nearly. Close. It's almost time. We have to go shopping because I didn't do any of my shopping, and people are going to expect gifts, and oh, geez, the stores are just busy and packed, and everything's terrible, and horrible, and I don't like it, and I wish I could just stay home. And so people get nothing because I just stay home because I don't know what day it is.
Thank you.
But up in Canada, it's celebrated on the second Monday in October.
Okay.
Why? One explanation may be that Canada is a bit farther north, and so it has an earlier harvest than down in the States.
Ah, yes. I'm not sure exactly what the history of Thanksgiving in Canada is even all about, or if it has something to do with the United States history, but our Thanksgiving is based off, feasts with pilgrims and American history and happiness and stuff like that. So that's kind of the story we're told growing up about Thanksgiving in the U.S.
That is the story. I understand that is not the history, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Canada and our Harvest Festival, which has been named Thanksgiving because American influence.
But I'd be interested in the history of Canadian Thanksgiving, if it's different. Certainly it has to do with harvest, so him mentioning harvest and that being a determination of when Thanksgiving would be different in Canada and the United States actually makes a lot of sense if the harvest dates are a little different. Interesting.
Gotta get that corn and wheat cut and stored before winter hits. The date for Canadian Thanksgiving was also moved around a lot in the years before the Canadian government settled on a date in 1957.
Oh.
Sometimes it was in April, other times it was in November. Confusing, eh?
Yes. Yes, eh?
Yeah, and that is a perfect example of usage of the word "a" because that was perfectly done.
So this has been around for at least since the 1950s, a long time. I'd like to know if it's been around as long as American Thanksgiving. I keep talking about them like they're two different Thanksgivings, and I don't know if that's proper etiquette or not.
Well, they are different in many ways, as this video will go on to explain.
They're kind of different. I mean, this whole video is about them being different. Okay, the two Thanksgivings. That's fine.
Number 6. Canadian Thanksgiving is older. The origin of Canadian and American Thanksgivings also differ. Although many assume Thanksgiving was first celebrated in the United States by the Pilgrims feasting with the Wampanoag Native Americans back in 1621, Canadian Thanksgiving is actually older.
What?
It was first celebrated in Canada in 1578, when Sir Martin Frobisher and his crew celebrated their journey from England to Nunavut, way up in the Canadian Arctic.
Okay, my mistake.
Cool.
My mistake. Thank you, Canada, for allowing us to take part in Thanksgiving. Your holiday. I don't know if it's a national holiday in Canada, but thank you for allowing us to steal Thanksgiving.
Well, it's nationally recognized, but I wouldn't say it's a holiday per se. It's not like we get time off or bonus days off or anything like that. It's just it's an observed holiday, I suppose.
Here I had it sort of backwards in my mind. Okay, I learn something new every day.
Their Thanksgiving was much different back then. They feasted on salted beef, mushy peas, and biscuits. Not exactly the most sumptuous of meals, but hey, at least they had something.
Sure.
And some of our Thanksgiving meals aren't that different. Peas, yeah, it's traditional. Meat pie, which is a lot of salted beef, and the meat pie here in Canada is known as tourtière. Tourtière. And it's delicious, especially if you get an authentic Québécois tourtière. Oh, so good.
Number 5. It's not a national holiday.
Is this guy reading my mind? Like, what is going on? Literally every time I've had a question, the narrator basically answers it.
Well, I suppose there's only so many questions you can ask about the holiday, and if someone's doing their thorough work, then I suppose they would answer those questions. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a nerd.
Next. Okay. It was meant to be. Watching this video was meant to be. I was meant to be late to Thanksgiving. It's fine.
Canadian Thanksgiving is decidedly more low-key than its American cousin.
Ah.
While families do get together, there isn't as much travel involved, and while most people do get the day off work, it doesn't have the relaxing 4-day weekend that goes along with Thanksgiving down south.
Yeah. Thanksgiving is... Everyone in the United States knows Thanksgiving is like its own mini holiday, as in you get multiple days off. Everyone's ready to travel to your family, to get off work. Everyone, it's widely accepted to be a pretty serious event. And of course, we love our Thanksgiving food, and we take that seriously as well. But in Canada, it's not a national holiday. You may not get the day off. And you probably won't travel across the world to eat a dinner with your family for one day.
That is accurate. All the jobs I've held, I've worked on Thanksgiving if it was a work day. The only people I know that would get the day off work in government or banking.
So I'm happy with how we do it in the United States, actually. I don't mind going overboard on it.
Part of the reason for this is that Thanksgiving is not a national holiday. While it is a public holiday in most provinces, it's only an optional holiday in the Atlantic provinces of Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and Labrador.
Okay.
But despite being unofficial, it's still widely celebrated in these regions.
Interesting to me. You know, the different provinces in Canada do seem to really have their own laws and traditions, and they even may decide differently how if you get the day off for Thanksgiving or not. And it's true in the United States that the states have different laws, but the differences between the provinces seem possibly a tiny bit more exaggerated than the differences between states in the US. But then again, I don't sit around listening to YouTube videos about the differences between the states of the United States, so I could be wrong there, but just something I was thinking about.
Number 4, there's no Black Friday. Oh, the shopping, the shopping. The throngs of people packed outside department stores and Walmarts waiting to burst through the doors and feast on sales the morning after they feasted on turkey has become a tradition nearly bigger than Thanksgiving Day itself in the United States.
So Black Friday, if you're not aware, is the American tradition of door-crashing stores to get huge discounts on ridiculous things, where people might get trampled in a stampede, where doors might get broken into because there are mobs of people waiting outside for the doors to be unlocked when the store opens so that they can get $100 off of a TV. Which, if you compare to the regular price, is actually the same. They just increased the price before Black Friday so they could decrease it to the regular price. That is the tradition. Now, since it has become so popular in the United States, and thanks to social media, we have seen many of these trampling videos, door crashers literally crashing through the door, people getting in fist fights over the last toaster. We have started Black Friday sales, but they are not first come, first serve mayhem factories like in the United States.
Yeah, Black Friday, oh my goodness. Oh, look up some YouTube videos about Black Friday.
If you don't know what I just described, do it and you will understand.
In America, if you want to see something sort of like MMA, UFC fighting in
Between housewives, right?
public, people go crazy on Black Friday. I don't go in person. People camping outside of stores all night, ready to get their just for a pack of discount cookies. No, probably for a TV or something, but still not something I really take part in. But I bet in Canada you can just hop on Amazon and take advantage of Black Friday deals online.
True, and with other online retailers as well. And some have in-store Black Friday deals. It's just not as much of a thing here in Canada. Not as widespread, not as chaotic, and not as violent. Ooh.
So this was more impactful maybe before the internet or something, but now I would imagine Canadians can get good deals like Black Friday and Cyber Monday all the same by the miracle of the internet. That same miracle which puts me right here today on your screen that I cannot escape from. Okay. All right, getting too dramatic. Bring it back.
And that's okay.
But I guess it sort of makes sense that Black Friday is a United States thing, creation, an evil corporate creation that we all love at
It's the altar of consumerism. Yeah.
the same time.
Well, obviously, Canada can't have a Black Friday since Canadian Thanksgiving is held on a Monday,
True.
but there's no Black Tuesday either. Instead, Canadians simply go back to work. There is, however, a big shopping day on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, celebrated in Canada and also across the pond in the UK.
True. Traditionally, the idea is that you've got all this stuff that you collected in your store in order to sell for Christmas. And Christmas is come and gone, so now let's box it all up. Hence, Boxing Day. A lot of people will go to the stores for big discounts on holiday items because it is Boxing Day and they just got to get rid of stock. In my experience, though, it is the day to go get Christmas candy and chocolates at a discount, or a day to stay home because the stores are busy and overwhelming.
Huh. Okay, an after Christmas sale. I don't know much about that. Maybe there are things that we do sale-wise that Canada doesn't get in on. And some secret after Christmas sales going on in Canada that I didn't know about. No one told me about this either. What the heck?
Now, it was years ago that I learned it wasn't a thing in the United States, because it's such a big deal here in Canada, and apparently the UK, and apparently nowhere else in the world. Huh. Well, it's something you can take a lesson from if you're interested. I mean, let's say you live in Iceland. Go ahead. We're not going to stop you. Cultural appropriation? Just do your thing and we're good.
Number 3, the food's a bit different.
Oh,
While many of the staples remain the same between the two Thanksgivings, you have your turkey, your stuffing, your mashed potatoes, your cranberry sauce, all the delicious, savory, belly-filling goodness. There are some differences in the food on the table at Thanksgiving in Canada.
yeah. What the narrator just said is spot on. If you did not have those items at your Thanksgiving, you are committing a crime, and the Thanksgiving police will come for you, and they will take you away, and rightfully so, because you gotta have your turkey and your gravy and your mashed potatoes. It is what it is.
Yes, we can have variety in our Thanksgiving meals. I have been to some where the menu that was just described was the menu. And others where instead of turkey, there was a tourtière or a smoked ham. Or something else. Like, it doesn't have to be so rigid. Instead of mashed potatoes, they could be scalloped potatoes or potato salad. Cranberry sauce can be replaced with cranberry jelly. Also, mint jelly is popular. I don't know why, but I'm not a fan of mint, so that's okay.
But what else does Canada have for Thanksgiving?
Vegetables, like carrots and such. Oh, Brussels sprouts. Big on Canadian Thanksgiving. And, well, if you've never had a good Brussels sprout, it's because it's been overcooked. Try undercooking it. Just blanch the Brussels sprout instead of thoroughly cooking. It will release fewer sulfides this way, have a nice texture, and just be so much more pleasant than an overcooked, sulfurous Brussels sprout that's mushy. Ugh.
I don't know about.
And the U.S. For example, in Newfoundland, they often prepare what's called a jig's dinner, a boiled meat dish that's served with a side of split pea pudding. And in Ontario, instead of pumpkin pie, they make butter tarts, little pastries filled with butter, syrup, egg, and sometimes raisins or walnuts.
Okay, we also do pumpkin pie, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just we also love butter tarts.
Of course, there's some syrup in there. Why wouldn't there be? No, it actually looks pretty good, honestly.
Butter tarts are pretty great. Yeah, if you're curious, look up a recipe. Make them at home because they're not that difficult to make and they are worth the effort.
Number 2. Canada used to have specific reason to be thankful each Thanksgiving. In 1957, the Governor General of Canada, Vincent Massey, made Thanksgiving a formal holiday, declaring it a day of general thanksgiving to Almighty God for the bountiful harvest with which Canada has been blessed.
Wait, at one point it was a national holiday at one point, but now it's not? Or did I hear this right?
Canada, Vincent Massey, made Thanksgiving a formal holiday, declaring it a day of general thanksgiving to Almighty God for the bountiful harvest with which Canada has been blessed, to be observed on the second Monday in October.
Okay.
Since then, that's been the official slogan. But back in the day, there were lots of different specific reasons to be thankful each year. For example, back in 1920 and 1930, it was held in conjunction with Armistice Day. In 1856, it was held to celebrate the restoration of peace with Russia.
Oh, this is nice. Okay. It's almost like if Canada was an entity, a person. At the table, at the Thanksgiving table, you might be asked by a relative or somebody leading the processions in Thanksgiving, what's everyone thankful for? Let's go around and say what we're thankful for at Thanksgiving in the United States. That does happen. And this is kind of like Canada as one big happy family saying for the nation what they're happy for. That's kind of nice. That's very nice.
And in 1902, it was held to celebrate King Edward VII's coronation in England.
Okay.
Number 1. The Canadian Prime Minister doesn't pardon a turkey. Lastly, we have a bizarre American tradition of presidents pardoning a turkey each Thanksgiving.
Yes.
As weird, right? Like, are the turkeys all prisoners, but one of them gets pardoned? I suppose that is the reality in a way, like, from a certain point of view. It's so silly.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's kind of fun. It's mostly just funny.
As if that makes up for all the rest of the gobbling delicious birds slaughtered every turkey day.
And it's better now in the future since the president or whoever can at least post a picture of the turkey back whenever, and they were pardoning turkeys and you never even got to see the turkey. It was like, how do we know they even pardoned it? And by pardoning it, it means they select a turkey that doesn't get slaughtered and eaten and the turkey just, I don't know, lives out their life, supposedly, in some turkey haven somewhere. Maybe. That's what we're told. Anyway.
Pardoning a turkey. Now let's look into pardon. So here in Canada, it's like forgive. If someone is blamed for something, then you may pardon them and remove the blame and all the negative association that goes with it. What did the turkey do wrong that it has to receive a pardon?
This strange ceremony or publicity stunt started with Ronald Reagan in 1987, who pardoned a turkey named Charlie. Yes, they named them too. The turkeys are donated or saved by the National Turkey Federation. Yes, that's a real organization. Yes, things are a bit different down south. The tradition actually has roots that go back to the 1800s when turkeys were donated to presidents by private citizens. Up in Canada, there is no such tradition, and the only pardon you'll hear on Thanksgiving might be, "Pardon me, can you pass the gravy?"
Okay. I thought he was kind of making like a Canadians are very polite joke, or he might have been serious. I don't know.
Yes, stuff can be two things.
What's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to stay tapped in for more great Canadian content.
Personally, my favorite part about Thanksgiving, other than the tortilla, is that it kind of breaks up the autumn into several distinct chunks. Like, we have Labor Day in September, and then we have Thanksgiving, and then we have Halloween, and then we have Remembrance Day, or as mentioned in this video, Armistice Day. And then there's a big pause to build suspense for Christmas and the New Year. And well, I don't know. I like it that way. What can I say? And that brings us to the French word of the day. Now, being Thanksgiving is the theme of today's episode, let's translate Thanksgiving, which is action de grâce. Action de grâce, which really means the action of grace, which is also the action of thanks, but really it's just being gracious. Action de grâce. And the phrase for happy Thanksgiving is joyeuse action de grâce. Joyeuse is, well, happy or joyous, and it is used for all sorts of different holidays. So, joyeuse action de grâce.
Okay. I did like that. Was by Whoa Canada. I did like that. I will give that a like. Absolutely. Are there any he said there might be comments. Are there any fun comments? I am thankful for my family all around the table and all the beautiful food we enjoy together. But most of all, I'm grateful to be able to give to others less fortunate than me and my family. Wow, it's very beautiful. Very nice indeed. Thank you. Yes, I say thank you as well. This is true. No Black Friday for Canada. I love my country. Why are you celebrating? Hey, you should want Black Friday. They got some good deals. You just don't want to get sucked into the hysterical violence of being at the store in person. That's the only trick, is to survive, and then it's all good. Anyway.
And good luck, because people literally get trampled.
I did really enjoy this video. Actually, I had one more thing here. This 1 minute long video called Explaining Canadian Thanksgiving to Americans.
Bonus.
I think it's like a funny skit thing, so why not?
Hey, neighbor. Oh, hi, America. Something smells good. That's probably the turkey. Turkey? Bit early, don't you think? Not really. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
Exactly. This was me. If I could somehow smell Canada from here, I'd be like, what are you doing? It's not Thanksgiving yet. But it was. It was.
Nice try, neighbor. Thanksgiving's not until November. In Canada, it's in October. Really? Really? Huh. Canadian Thanksgiving.
This is just literally me.
We just call it Thanksgiving.
I've been calling it Canadian Thanksgiving as well.
Then when's Canadian Halloween? October 31st, same as you guys.
Oh.
So your Christmas is in November. Weird. No, it's when do you guys celebrate New Year's? What?
Hey, I'm on the side of the American in this skit. If Thanksgiving in Canada is on a different day, I'm not assuming anything about the other holidays. I'm not making any assumptions that Christmas is on Christmas. So I agree.
January 1st, same as you. Man, I never understood the metric system. It's not the... Is your Thanksgiving dinner provided to you by the government? You know, as part of your universal health care?
Okay.
No. So it doesn't cover everything. Listen, Thanksgiving in Canada
They did a good job in this video, honestly.
is just like Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a time for friends and family to get together and eat some food and be thankful for all the good stuff. Huh. You don't say.
You don't say.
Oh, he's waiting for an invitation.
We have plenty. Do you want to come over? That's mighty neighborly of you. Don't mind if I do. So y'all have candied yams with marshmallows as well? No, that's gross.
Yeah, that's an abomination of sugar on sweet potatoes. Why is that a thing? I'm scared of it. I don't know why. Why are the marshmallows on top of the candied yams? Like, are candied yams not sweet enough? You have to add marshmallows? Yes, that's a real thing.
Sorry.
I've never heard
Fair
of that.
enough.
I never heard of that.
Oh, it's a thing in different parts of the United States, mostly in the South.
Either. Okay. That was like Brittle Star. Thank you for deciding to make that video. I gotta give that a like as well. I enjoyed both those videos, but the first one was a little more informative. The second one was kind of informative too. I don't want to admit it, but the first.
Hey, candied yams. Yeah, an abomination that just baffles me.
This first video, 7 differences between Thanksgiving in Canada and America. Very insightful. I wouldn't have necessarily thought it was possible to have that many differences in just a holiday. You know, a holiday is just a holiday. I would have thought actually they were carbon copies of each other, but little did I know, America actually ripped off the idea from Canada. So there you go, you know? This taught me a lot. I enjoyed this. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, reacting to Canada, Canadian culture, things in Canada that I've never seen or experienced before,
then go ahead.
Feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time. What's going on?
Yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's installment. I definitely had fun here, especially thinking about a tortilla. Oh, pumpkin pie. Oh, remembering those apples I've got to deal with. And the horror of candied yams with marshmallows. Why? But that's it for me for now, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, because I sure did, and I hope y'all just keep being awesome. Bye.
Science, spirit, life. Nerd Pumpkin.